A recession is coming. I don't know when exactly. Could be 6 months. Could be 2 years. But it's coming. And most people are going to get destroyed financially. Not because the recession itself destroys them, but because they're completely unprepared for what's coming. My family has survived every recession over the last 75 years. Not just survived, we've thrived. We've bought assets cheap during recessions and sold them high afterward. We've built wealth during economic downturns while others lost everything. This isn't luck. This is preparation. This is strategy. This is following a specific set of principles that protect you during recessions and position you to profit when they end. I'm going to tell you exactly what my family does before, during, and after recessions. The same system my grandfather used through multiple economic collapses. The same system my father used. The same system I'm using right now as I watch the early warning signs of the next recession forming. This is not theoretical advice. This is practical reality tested over 3 generations. And if you follow this exactly, you'll not only survive the recession, you'll come out of it wealthier than you went in. Let me start by explaining what most people get completely wrong about recessions. They think recessions are about the economy. They're not. Recessions are about your personal financial position when the economy contracts. If you're prepared, a recession is an opportunity. If you're not prepared, a recession is a catastrophe. Same economic event. Completely different outcomes based entirely on your preparation. Most people are not prepared. Most people are carrying debt. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people have no cash reserves. Most people's income depends on a single job in industries that cut during recessions. When the recession hits, these people lose jobs, can't pay bills, default on debts, lose homes, declare bankruptcy. They're destroyed not because the economy crashed, but because they had no margin when it crashed. My family maintains enormous margin at all times specifically because we know recessions are inevitable. We don't know when. We don't need to know when. We just know they happen every 7 to 10 years. So we stay prepared constantly. Here's exactly what we do. 10 specific actions that protect you during recessions and position you to profit from them. The first thing my family does to prepare for recession is build massive cash reserves. Not 3 months of expenses. Not 6 months of expenses. 12 to 18 months of expenses in pure cash. Liquid. Accessible. Not invested. Not in markets. Cash. This is our fortress. This is what makes us recession-proof. When the economy collapses and people are desperately selling assets to pay bills, we are not selling anything. We have cash to live on. We can wait out the storm without making desperate decisions. My grandfather maintained cash reserves equal to 2 years of expenses his entire adult life. Through boom times and recessions. The cash just sat there, not earning anything, waiting for the next downturn. People thought he was stupid. You're losing money to inflation, they'd say. You should invest that cash. He didn't care. The cash wasn't there to make money. It was there to prevent disaster and enable opportunity. During recessions, that cash became the most valuable asset he owned. When the 2008 recession hit, my father had 18 months of expenses in cash. He didn't touch his investments. Didn't sell anything at a loss. Lived on cash reserves while assets were down. When everything recovered, his wealth was intact. Most people had to sell at the bottom to survive. They never recovered. Right now, today, start building cash reserves. Your goal is 12 months of expenses minimum. 18 months is better. 24 months is ideal. I know this feels impossible. I know your money is already allocated. I know you think you can't save that much. You can. You cut everything that isn't essential and you redirect that money into cash savings until you hit your target. This is your top priority. Not investing. Not paying down low-interest debt. Not upgrading anything. cash reserves first. Everything else second. The second thing my family does is eliminate or drastically reduce variable expenses before the recession hits. Variable expenses are things that recur but aren't fixed. Subscriptions, services, memberships, dining out, entertainment, shopping. All the things you can cut without fundamentally changing your life. Before a recession, we audit every single expense and cut aggressively. Not because we can't afford them, because we're creating more margin, more flexibility, more ability to survive reduced income. My father goes through this exercise every few years whether a recession is imminent or not. He lists every recurring expense. He asks, do I need this to survive? If the answer is no, he cuts it. Even things he enjoys. Even things that seem small. The goal is to get your baseline monthly expenses as low as possible. This does two things. First, it means your cash reserves last longer. If you need $2,000 per month instead of $4,000, your 12 months of cash just became 24 months. Second, it means you can survive on lower income. If you lose your job or your business revenue drops, you can make it on part-time work or reduced income because your expenses are so low. Most people do this backward. They maintain high expenses during good times, then scramble to cut when recession hits. By then it's too late. They're already in crisis mode. We cut preemptively. We reduce expenses before we need to. This creates the margin that protects us when times get hard. Right now, make a list of every recurring expense. Cancel everything that isn't essential. You can always add things back after the recession. But you need to cut them now while you still have income to build reserves. The third thing my family does is secure our primary income sources and develop backup income streams. If you have a job, you need to make yourself indispensable before the recession hits. Take on critical projects. Develop skills that are valuable during downturns. Build relationships with decision makers. Position yourself as someone they cannot afford to lay off. This isn't about working harder. This is about working smarter and more strategically. During recession preparation, your job security is more valuable than anything else. Protect it aggressively. But don't rely on job security alone. Develop backup income sources. Side businesses. Freelance skills. Consulting capabilities. Things you can activate immediately if you lose your primary income. My grandfather always had multiple income streams. His primary business, plus rental properties, plus side dealing in various goods. If one stream dried up, others continued. He was never dependent on a single source. During the 2008 recession, I had my primary business which took a hit but survived, plus consulting income, plus rental property income. When my business revenue dropped 40%, my total income only dropped 15% because other streams compensated. People who had only salary income and lost their jobs went from full income to zero overnight. They had no backup, no alternative, just unemployment benefits and desperation. Start developing backup income sources now. Skills you can monetize. Services you can provide. Small businesses you can start. You might not need them. But if you do need them, having them in place before the crisis is the difference between surviving and drowning. The fourth thing my family does is convert high-interest debt to low-interest debt and pay down or eliminate high-risk debt. All debt becomes more dangerous during recessions. Income drops but debt payments don't. This is how people lose homes and declare bankruptcy. Before recession hits, we attack debt strategically. Credit card debt gets paid off completely. Consumer debt gets eliminated. Any high-interest debt gets paid down or refinanced to lower rates. We keep mortgage debt because it's typically low interest and secured against appreciating assets. We keep business debt that funds income-producing activities. But we eliminate consumption debt aggressively. The goal is to minimize required monthly payments. Lower required payments mean you can survive on less income. This creates margin. My father refinanced his mortgage in 2019 from a 15-year to a 30-year loan. This lowered his required payment by $800 per month. People thought he was crazy. You're paying more interest over time. He didn't care. The flexibility was worth more than the interest savings. When the pandemic hit in 2020, that extra $800 per month of margin was valuable. He had the option to make larger payments when income was good and minimum payments when income was uncertain. Right now, list all your debts. Pay off high-interest debt immediately. Refinance what you can't pay off to the lowest rate possible. Extend payment terms to minimize required monthly payments even if it costs more interest long-term. Flexibility and margin are more valuable during recessions than optimal debt pay-down strategies. The fifth thing my family does is lock in fixed expenses at current rates before inflation and recession hit. When recession comes, prices on some things drop, but prices on essentials often stay high or even increase. Before this happens, we lock in our costs. We sign longer leases on rental properties at current rates rather than short leases that might increase. We buy cars that will last years rather than leasing or planning to upgrade. We prepay for services we know we'll need. We lock in fixed-rate debt rather than variable-rate debt. The goal is to fix as many expenses as possible at pre-recession rates. This protects against inflation if it comes and provides predictability in uncertain times. My grandfather would sign 5-year leases on commercial properties when he sensed recession coming. Lock in the rent at current rates. When recession hit and rents dropped, he was paying above market. But when recovery came and rent spiked, he was paying below market. The long-term average protected him. Look at your major expenses. Anything you can lock in for longer terms, do it now. Accept short-term overpayment for long-term predictability and protection. The sixth thing my family does is shift asset allocation from growth to safety and cash flow. During boom times, we hold growth assets. Stocks that appreciate. Real estate that increases in value. Businesses we're scaling. These assets build wealth during good times. Before recession, we shift. We sell some growth assets and move into safer assets. Bonds. Dividend-paying stocks. Cash-flowing rental properties. Businesses with stable, predictable revenue. We're not trying to time the market perfectly. We're shifting from maximizing growth to maximizing safety and income. From offense to defense. My father started selling appreciated stocks in early 2007. People thought he was leaving money on the table. The market kept going up through 2007. He looked wrong. Then 2008 hit. The market crashed. He'd already moved 40% of his equity position to cash and bonds. His portfolio dropped much less than most people's, and he had cash to buy assets cheap during the crash. Right now, evaluate your asset allocation. If you're 100% in growth stocks or speculative investments, you're exposed. Shift some portion to safer assets. This reduces potential upside but protects against downside. The exact percentage depends on your situation. But the principle is constant. Before recession, prioritize safety over growth. The seventh thing my family does is identify assets we want to buy during the recession and prepare to buy them. Recessions create opportunities. Assets go on sale. Real estate sells cheap. Businesses sell cheap. Stocks sell cheap. But only if you have cash and the courage to buy when everyone else is selling. Before recession hits, we identify what we want to buy. Specific properties we've been watching. Specific stocks we want to own. Specific businesses in industries we understand. We research these assets during good times. We know what they're worth. We know what we'd pay. We watch and wait. When recession hits and prices drop, we buy. Not emotionally. Not impulsively. We execute predetermined plans to acquire predetermined assets at predetermined prices. My grandfather had a list of properties he wanted to own. During the Great Depression, many of those properties became available at fractions of their previous values. He bought them with cash he'd saved. Those properties became the foundation of generational wealth. During the 2008 recession, I bought 3 rental properties at 40 to 50% below their 2006 values. I'd identified those specific properties in 2007. I knew what they were worth. When they went on sale, I bought them. Right now, make a list. What assets would you want to own if they were 50% cheaper? Research them. Know their value. Prepare to act when opportunity comes. This transforms recession from disaster to opportunity. Instead of desperately selling assets to survive, you're strategically buying assets that will appreciate when recovery comes. The 8th thing my family does is maintain or increase income during recession by being willing to do whatever work is available. Most people see recessions as times when income stops. Jobs disappear. Businesses fail. Money dries up. This is true if you're inflexible about what work you're willing to do. My family is completely flexible. If primary income disappears, we'll do any legal work that generates cash. Any work. Regardless of how it looks. Regardless of whether it matches our credentials or previous position. My grandfather survived the Great Depression by doing manual labor. He had been a business owner in Europe. In America, during the Depression, he dug ditches. No shame. No ego. Just work that paid. During 2008, I knew business owners who refused to take lower-paying work because it was beneath them. They'd rather collect unemployment than work for less than they thought they deserved. They went bankrupt. I knew other business owners who worked part-time jobs, drove Uber, did consulting, took contract work, anything to generate income. They survived and eventually rebuilt. The principle is simple. During recession, earning something is better than earning nothing. Any income is better than no income. Preserve your ego or preserve your financial security. Choose one. Right now, think about this. If your primary income disappeared tomorrow, what would you be willing to do to generate cash? Make a plan. Identify options. Be psychologically prepared to do whatever it takes. The 9th thing my family does is help each other during recession rather than expecting government or institutions to help us. When recession hits, government systems get overwhelmed. Unemployment benefits run out. Social services get stretched. Institutions fail. You cannot rely on external help. What you can rely on is family. My family operates as a financial unit during recessions. If one member is struggling, others help. We pool resources. We share housing if necessary. We provide interest-free loans. We employ each other. This mutual support system is how we all survive. Nobody goes hungry. Nobody becomes homeless. Nobody declares bankruptcy. Because the family absorbs the shock collectively. My grandfather helped family members during every recession. Gave them jobs in his business even when he didn't need workers. Loaned money interest-free. Let relatives live in his properties rent-free temporarily. This wasn't charity. This was the family taking care of itself. When those same relatives succeeded later, they helped others. The support circulated. Over generations, this system of mutual aid protected everyone. If you have family, formalize this before recession hits. Have explicit conversations. If things get bad, we'll help each other. Make specific plans. Who has resources? Who has space? Who has skills? If you don't have family, create this system with close friends or community. Form a mutual aid network. People committed to helping each other survive hard times. Don't wait until recession hits to organize this. Do it now while everyone has resources to contribute. The 10th thing my family does is stay psychologically prepared for the fear and panic that comes with recession. Recessions are as much psychological as economic. Fear dominates. Panic drives decisions. People make terrible choices because they're emotionally overwhelmed. My family prepares for this psychologically before it happens. We discuss what recession looks like. We review what we'll feel. We commit to our strategy before fear arrives. When recession hits and people are panicking, we're executing our plan. We're not making fear-based decisions. We're following the strategy we developed during calm times. My grandfather used to say, plan in peace, execute in war. During good times, make your recession strategy. During recession, just follow the strategy. Don't try to make new plans while afraid. This psychological preparation is what allows us to buy assets when everyone else is selling, to stay calm when everyone else is panicking, to execute strategy when everyone else is frozen by fear. Right now, write down your recession plan. What you'll do, how you'll respond, what actions you'll take. Make these decisions now while you're calm and rational. When recession comes and fear hits, don't make new decisions. Just execute the plan you made when you were thinking clearly. Let me now tell you what's happening right now that tells me recession is close. I watch specific indicators. Not the stock market. Not unemployment numbers. Not official recession declarations. I watch things that predict recessions before they're officially announced. Corporate layoffs at major companies. When big corporations start cutting workers, recession is 6 to 12 months away. This is happening now. Tech companies laying off thousands. Financial services cutting positions. Manufacturing reducing workforce. These companies have data we don't see. When they cut, they know something. Luxury goods sales dropping. When expensive discretionary items stop selling, it means high earners are getting nervous. This is happening now. Luxury car sales down 20% year over year. High-end real estate sitting unsold for months. Expensive restaurants empty on weekends. Luxury retailers reporting declining revenue. Credit card delinquencies rising. When people start missing credit card payments, it means they've run out of margin. This is happening now. Delinquencies at highest levels since 2008. People are stretched. They're using credit to maintain lifestyles they can't afford. When they start defaulting, recession is imminent. Small business failures increasing. Small businesses fail first during economic downturns. They have less margin than corporations. This is happening now. Business bankruptcy filings up significantly. Small retailers closing. Local restaurants shutting down. These are the canaries in the coal mine. Consumer savings rates dropping. When people stop saving and start spending down reserves, trouble is coming. Savings rates at multi-year lows. People are living on their buffers. When those buffers run out, spending crashes and recession accelerates. Commercial real estate vacancies rising. Empty office buildings. Empty retail spaces. This means businesses are contracting. When businesses contract, they eventually cut workers. We're seeing vacancy rates climb in major markets. These are the signals I watch. And they're all flashing warning signs right now. I don't know if recession comes in 6 months or 18 months. But it's coming. The data is clear. And I'm preparing. Here's what my family is doing right now, today, in preparation for what's coming. We're building cash. Every extra dollar goes into cash reserves until we hit 24 months of expenses in liquid cash. We're cutting expenses. Cancelled subscriptions. Reduce discretionary spending. Cut every non-essential recurring expense. We're securing income. Making ourselves valuable at primary jobs. Developing backup income sources. Building consulting capabilities. We're paying down high-interest debt aggressively. Credit cards getting paid off. Consumer loans getting eliminated. We're locking in fixed expenses. Just signed a 3-year lease on commercial property. Locked in mortgage rates on investment properties. We're shifting some assets from growth to safety. Sold some appreciated stocks. Moved into bonds and dividend pairs. We're identifying properties we want to buy. Made a list. Researched values. Prepared to act when prices drop. We're ready to do any work necessary. No ego. No shame. Whatever generates income. We're coordinating family support. Had explicit conversations. Everyone knows we'll help each other. We're psychologically prepared. Reviewed the plan. Committed to executing it when fear comes. This is what preparation looks like. This is what protects you during recession and positions you to profit from it. Fail to do these things and you'll be one of the people who gets destroyed. Who loses everything? Who spends years recovering? The choice is yours. The recession is coming whether you prepare or not. Your preparation determines whether it destroys you or enriches you. My family is ready. We've been ready for years. We stay ready. That's why we survive every recession and come out wealthier. You can be ready too. But you need to start now. Today. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Now. The time to prepare for recession is before it arrives. Once it's here, it's too late. You're in reaction mode. In survival mode. In panic mode. Let me give you a specific timeline for how this preparation should work. Month 1, audit your finances completely. List every asset, every debt, every income source, every expense. You need complete visibility before you can prepare effectively. Most people don't actually know their financial situation. Get brutally honest about where you stand. Month 2, build your first month of cash reserves. Cut every discretionary expense. Redirect everything to savings. Cancel subscriptions. Stop dining out. Pause everything non-essential. Your only goal is accumulating 1 month of expenses in cash. Month 3, continue building cash while starting to pay down high-interest debt. Split your savings capacity between cash reserves and debt elimination. Attack credit cards first, then consumer loans, then anything above 6% interest. Months 4 through 6, keep building cash reserves until you hit 6 months. This is your first major milestone. 6 months of expenses in cash means you can survive a job loss without immediate crisis. Don't stop here, but recognize this achievement. Months 7 through 12, continue to 12 months of cash reserves while developing backup income sources. Use evenings and weekends to build skills, start small businesses, create consulting capabilities. You need income options ready to activate. Months 13 through 18, push to 18 months cash reserves. This is your fortress. This is true security. Most recessions don't last 18 months. If you have 18 months of cash, you can wait out almost any economic storm without desperate actions. Month 19 onward, maintain 18 months cash while shifting focus to identifying buying opportunities. Research assets you want to own. Prepare to deploy cash strategically when recession hits. This is the timeline. 18 months to full preparation. Can you do it faster? Maybe, if your income is high relative to expenses. Might take longer if your margin is thin. But this is the framework. Most people won't do this. They'll read it, think it sounds good, and continue living exactly as they are. Then recession will hit and they'll be destroyed. Don't be most people. Prepare now, profit later. Or fail to prepare and pay the price. What will you choose?